Namaste, I'm Dr. Naresh Bana and I welcome you to 24th episode of our PPP case series. And today we are going to review the world's largest grid-connected solar power project. And where is that located? Right here in Thar Desert in Western India, Rajasthan state, in the village named Bhadla, the Bhadla Solar Park project. Let's have a look. The world's largest fully commissioned photovoltaic project as on date on more than 14,000 acres of land and more than 10 million photovoltaic panels. This 2.245 gigawatt commissioned solar project at Bhadla is developed in 4 phases. Phase 1 and 2 were developed by RSDCL for 745 megawatt, Phase 3 by SUCRL for 1000 megawatt, and Phase 4 by AREPRL for 500 megawatt. Total 2,245 megawatt of power is being generated. It uses photovoltaic panels that capture sunlight and convert it into DC power, which is then converted to AC and fed into the national grid. The generated power is sold to the national grid for distribution and consumption. It can power 4.5 million homes. The key features: this solar park was subscribed by 16 solar power developer companies, which took part in 4 phases. The finance was raised by themselves on their own credentials and the PPA they signed. In 2019, ACME quoted the lowest price per kilowatt hour, that is 2.44 rupees, which equals to then about US dollars 0.037 per kilowatt hour, which is not yet breached. And overall, this has been the largest financing exercise for any clean energy project. This is the way the entire policy framework was designed, where Ministry of New and Renewable Energy of Government of India laid down the policy guidelines, and with the state government who partnered with the private developers, they brought in 4 phases, and for each phase they had solar park project developer, that is SPPD. And these SPPDs then auctioned out the space to solar power developers. Each SPPD created certain central facilities, which are like water supply, roads, power line, evacuation mechanisms, and that's how this entire exercise took place in a very orchestrated and coordinated manner. Phase 1 and 2 were auctioned at $0.069 per kilowatt hour. Phase 3 in 2017 saw PPA nosediving to 0.037 per kilowatt hour, and in 2019 it just rose a little bit to 0.0388 per kilowatt hour. And all these PPAs are for 25 years duration. The solar projects depend on the solar irradiance. The solar irradiance in this part varies from 4.36 kilowatt hour per meter square to 7.57 kilowatt hour per meter square per day, which means more power per square meter of photovoltaic surface. Summer temperature goes to 48 degrees Celsius. Power Grid Corporation of India, to evacuate power, established 765, 400, 220 kV grid substations and pooling stations at Bhadla. The transmission system with 765 kV and 400 kV double circuit line with two 400 kV and four 220 kV lines were laid for this solar park interconnection. The risk management project had minimum risk because the land was already available. So the change of law and force majeure risk in addition to the land risk was with the public authority, whereas the financing, construction, and termination, the handover risk was with the private parties. The major risk, that is the demand risk, was assumed by the solar park developers and state entities who signed the PPA. And with that, the financing became much easier for the solar project developers. The lessons learned. The detailed planning in true facilitator format is best suited for developing such large-scale projects. Demand risk is critical, and if assumed by a public authority, can be a boon for project financing. And pooling in survival, that is the roads, water, local consumptions in habitations, that infrastructure and the power evacuation infrastructure can greatly aid large solar power project development. Thank you. Thank you very much for viewing. We'll be soon with you with yet another interesting case, and that will be our final for this session, the 25th, which I suggest you must watch. And till I come back with 25th, keep viewing this one. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.